In today's installment of Beginner Poker Player Mistakes, I'm going to talk about protecting your hand, which is a terrible term, and it's, you know, the words are fine, but it doesn't make any sense to do. Say you have a very strong hand. You have pocket nines, for example. The flop is something like 9-8-3. A lot of people get so scared of the straight draws that are out there. It's an unbeatable hand at this point, but they're so scared of the straight draws. Maybe there's a flush draw. They bet very, very, very big to make sure the draws don't call. You want draws to call. Now there's an amount, I'm not gonna get very technical, there's an amount where you can price out a draw from drawing profitably. You wanna bet more than that, but you can't bet so big that they fold. It has to be in that range. Minimum bet amount so that your opponent cannot draw profitably. Maximum bet amount, the most they're willing to call. And you want to bet somewhere in that range. A lot of people just bet huge because they don't want to be outdrawn, and they actually prevent what they really want to be happening. They want to get called by worse, but they prevent that by betting so big that worse cannot actually call. This ties into severity. See, in a game like football, severity doesn't matter. You lose by 3 points or you lose by 50 points in a football game, and it's just one loss in your record. It doesn't matter how many points you lost by. You either won the game, 1-0, first game of the season, or you lost the game, 0-1, first game of the season. No one cares how many points it's by. In poker, severity does matter. It matters a lot. You could have 8 winning days in a row, and then you could have 1 losing day. Well, you won 8 out of 9 days, but you can be in the red because that 1 losing day was so severe. You can think about this over the course of 1 session also, not a 9-day stretch. You could have a lot of small hands that you lose. You could have a lot of flops that you airballed. You know, you called 1 bet pre-flop, or you raised yourself pre-flop. You didn't hit the flop, you gave it up. You could lose hands like that all night. Small pot, small pot, small pot. You lose all of them, and then you can win 1 big hand, and you can use severity to your advantage. Maybe there's 20 hands you play. You can lose 18 of them small, you could win 2 of them big, and you could end up in the black for the night. That's great. Well, if you want to do that, you can't be blowing people out of the water with your strong hands. When you have a strong hand, you need to keep worse hands in. There are times to bluff. You want people to fold. That's great. When you want people to call with worse, when you're betting for value, you need to keep the worst hands in. If you don't do that, there's no point. So when you have that strong hand, pocket nines, on a board like 9-8-3, you can't bet so big that Jack 7 folds, that Jack 10 folds, that, you know, Queen 9 folds. You can't be doing that. You need to be okay with some of the time you're going to get drawn out. I understand that. You don't win every single hand. You're going to get drawn out some of the time, but you need to keep the worst hands in. Otherwise, your plan doesn't make any sense. So I see beginner players bet way too big in order to protect their hand, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's very counterintuitive to what they're actually trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I got it at the stadium. Man.